Welcome back to the thrilling crime-solving journey of Xu Qi'an in the Nightwatcher, Chapter 38. The Poem's Birth. If Xu Qi'an hadn't gone to Qingzhou to take up his new post, we could have handed this case over to him without a second thought. Zhang Shen chuckled. Of all of us, he's the most capable when it comes to handling such matters. A gust of mountain air wafted through the room, causing Chen Tai's long beard to dance slightly. He smiled and said, "Brother Canyon, you'd make a better court official than I ever could." "Old fool, are you mocking me for passing the buck?" Zhang Shen replied, half amused. "Come on, I'm all ears. Spill it." Just as the two were about to dive into yet another spirited argument, Zhang Shen's young attendant hurried in, lowering himself in a respectful bow. "Master, your disciple Xu Qi'an has arrived." "Xu Qi'an? What's he doing here? Has he finally finished copying the 300 lessons of the sage?" Zhang Shen nodded. "Show him in." Once the attendant left, Zhang Shen turned to Chen Tai, a mischievous grin on his face. "By the way, I recently took on a new disciple. He's Xu Qi'an's older brother, and his talent for poetry is extraordinary." Li Mubo chimed in, "So he's my disciple too, then?" Chen Tai glanced between the two of them, raising an eyebrow in surprise. "Is that the same guy who wrote, 'Don't be sad for those who don't appreciate you'? Is there anyone in this world who doesn't know you?" Li Mubo and Zhang Shen smirked, reveling in each other's glory. "Ha ha!" Chen Tai erupted with laughter, pointing at his two friends. "What's so funny? I'm laughing at how blinded you two are by fame and fortune. Well, maybe a bit of envy too." Chen Tai's laughter subsided as he leaned back, half advising and half ridiculing. "Xu Qi'an's fame will surely soar because of this poem. It's something everyone will envy. But have you two ever considered that a truly great poem is a rare gem? How many scholars pore over their books for a lifetime, only to write a handful of good verses? Getting one into the annals of history is even harder. Just producing a line like, 'Don't be sad for those who don't appreciate you,' is a stroke of genius as it is. You should be thankful for that, rather than expecting him to churn out more poems for you two to bask in eternal glory. Focusing too much on fame can drain the righteous spirit from your hearts over time." Zhang Shen and Li Mubo exchanged awkward glances, aware deep down that Chen Tai had a point. Great poems don't appear out of thin air, and needless to say, they also didn't belong to someone without the scholarly pedigree to back it up. The notion of a mere minor official making a name through poetry felt like reach. "Very true," Xu Tan Nian commented, folding his hands in respect. "A scholar has three paths to immortality: establishing virtue, words, and merit. If we want to be remembered, we must follow the proper path, not some back alley. We've indeed strayed. Recognizing mistakes and correcting them is the best approach." Chen Tai mused thoughtfully, stroking his chin. Moments later, the attendant returned, ushering in Xu Qi'an and Xu Tan Nian. They bowed in unison. "We greet our masters." Zhang Shen and Li Mubo exchanged glances, surprised yet delighted that Xu Qi'an had come. "Have a seat." Zhang Shen gestured eagerly. "Ning Yan, you came to the academy with a poem for me to appraise, didn't you?" Li Mubo asked, a glimmer of curiosity in his eyes. Xu Qi'an shook his head. "I'm here for a different reason. There's something I need your help with." "Speak freely." Xu Qi'an outlined his intentions, concealing his quest for revenge against the vice minister, suggesting that Xu would most likely be the one behind the tax fraud case. If his opponent slipped through the cracks, he was certain retaliation against the Xu household was inevitable. Upon hearing this, Li Mubo exchanged a glance with Zhang Shen, both looking troubled. "The library has strict rules about outsiders staying overnight. It's a matter of order. Scholars are among the most rule-abiding individuals. Xu Qi'an was about to plead further when Xu Tan chimed in. But the crown princess often stays in the library. Zhang Shen shook his head. What significance does the crown princess hold? Xu Tan nodded solemnly. The library forbids outsiders from lodging unless they're of royal blood. Ah, this young man really had no idea how to navigate the conversation. The three esteemed scholars couldn't help but laugh in disbelief. Xu Qi'an nearly burst out laughing. Too, his younger brother's wit was sharp and merciless. Li Mubo shook his head. Brother Canyon, I can only hope this student of yours reaches the lifebound stage in the future. What an overestimate, Zhang Shen muttered, a tight smile on his lips. Only Chen Tai continued to observe Xu Qi'an with a playful smile. So, you are Xu Ningyan? Indeed, that's me. Xu Qi'an replied, hands clasped in the fashion of a scholar. I hear you have a knack for poetry. Here's a proposition. If you can create an original poem here that satisfies all three of us, I'll make sure the women of the Xu household can stay temporarily in the library, ensuring their safety. The allowance for the Xu women to stay was merely a pretext. The underlying concern was for their safety. This was the real reason the brothers had come. Xu Tan eyes glimmered with hope as he glanced at his elder brother. Big brother. He was both excited and apprehensive. Writing poetry wasn't difficult. Anyone immersed in literature could craft a decent verse. The challenge lay in crafting a poem that would meet the approval of all three esteemed scholars. Was that easy? Absolutely not. Write poetry? Are you forcing me into this? Xu Qi'an thought, holding back his immediate objections. Is it free-form, or do you have a specific theme in mind? The three scholars exchanged knowing glances before Zhang Shen replied, encouraging learning. As expected, free-form was off the table. Otherwise, he could have delivered an immortal work in a minute. Xu Qi'an clasped his hands together, internally relieved. The theme was manageable. He had enough literary knowledge to keep up. The phrase, encouraging learning, instantly brought to mind a poem he learned during his time in high school. However, since they were asking for poetry, this classical work wouldn't suffice. He recalled the age-old couplet, in the book, there's a golden palace. In the book, a visage like jade. These lines, so well known among the literary circles, drowned out his doubts. While pondering this, he remembered the last 2 centuries of the Yunlu Library's history. Isn't this poem from the song Emperor's Reign? It carries the scent of fame and fortune. Yet those who graduated from Yunlu Library often find the path to officialdom treacherous. Xu Kugu, upon passing the imperial exam, once lamented about being cast away to the depths of obscurity in the mountains. I'd be using this poem not to strike at the library's wounds, but rather to do the complete opposite. When he remained silent for too long, Xu Tan's frown deepened, while the 3 scholars grew eager with anticipation. Chen Tai casually sipping his tea, all eyes glued onto Xu Qi'an. Gathering his thoughts, Xu Qi'an clasped his hands again. Disciple begs permission to scrawl a piece. Kugu, prepare me some ink. Xu Tan quickly brought out paper and writing brushes, setting them on the table. He meticulously ground the ink, holding the brush with one hand, and with the other, he tugged at his collar to ensure he was ready, gesturing for his brother to begin. My calligraphy is bound to embarrass me, Xu Qi'an thought, reluctant yet determined. No matter, I won't write in calligraphy. He decided instead to present himself as a scholar directing the future of the realm. Kugu, you write for me. Xu Tan nodded, settling down with seriousness. When roosters crow at the 3rd watch, a youth reads the official missive. His dark hair has no inkling it should bloom, while his silver threads wail that time has slipped away. Once Xu Tian finished writing and set the brush down, he read the 7-character verse on the Zan city paper aloud. His eyes sparkled with excitement, his face a mixture of awe and pride. The room fell into a brief silence as he savored the aftermath of his composition, while the 3 esteemed scholars hurried to the table, staring intently at the piece. Their gaze locked on the poem, as the world outside continued its chaotic pace unbeknownst to them. Chapter 39. Xu Pingzi is truly not human. Such a lovely poem. Ning Yan, you truly have a remarkable talent for poetry. Li Mo Bai clapped his hands, bursting with excitement. He was filled with joy not only at discovering a brilliant work but also at the anticipation of his students' reactions upon seeing it. Zhang Shen offered no comment, only gazed at Xu Qi'an with a proud glimmer in his eyes, marveling at the talent he had discovered. Simple language, but with profound meaning. In the dark of midnight, the lanterns are lit, as a young man reads quietly in the stillness. Brother Jian, do you remember our days in the academy? With appreciation, Chen Tai reflected on the poem's wisdom, savoring its sharp arguments. Zhang Shen snapped out of his thoughts, recalling their younger days spent in the library, his expression growing wistful. Back then, we were so poor, eating only 2 steamed buns a day. My stomach growled every night as I struggled to muster the strength to read by candlelight. Li Mo Bai chuckled knowingly. Is that why you were always sneaking my eggs every few days? Zhang Shen frowned. Sneaking? I prefer to think of it as borrowing. I returned them, didn't I? Li Mo Bai bristled, mock seriousness in his gaze. An egg, at that time, was as precious as gold. Clearing his throat to interrupt their banter, Chen Tai turned to Xu Tian. After the spring exams, no matter your rank, you'll have the chance to enter the service. Have you thought about your future? The abrupt shift to seriousness caught everyone off guard. Zhang Shen and Li Mo Bai fell silent, both lost in thought about Xu Tian's future. Seeing his 2 friends hesitate, Chen Tai pressed on. Normally, staying in the capital before being assigned a post is the path to advancement. Though I may not be an official myself, I have some connections that could help you remain here. As a teacher, Zhang Shen's mood brightened. That would be excellent. Tan, hurry and thank Brother Chen. No need for thanks. If you truly wish to repay me, I have a modest proposal. Chen Tai smiled, his voice conspiratorial. His 2 friends exchanged curious glances, confusion evident on their faces. No one asked you to repay me? Chen Tai chuckled. Ning Yan, he continued, you're a rough diamond that hasn't been shaped yet. If you want to achieve greatness, you'll need to be refined. These 2 aimless old men here won't guide you properly. You should become my disciple instead. Get lost, you shameless old fool. Li Mo Bai and Zhang Shen were indignant, protesting in unison. Xu Qi'an seized the opportunity. Both of you, Ning Yan truly has questions to ask. Today, I came to the Wenyan library to seek knowledge. I've been stuck at the spirit refinement stage for too long, without the merit or resources to ascend to the qi refinement stage. Xu Qi'an bowed deeply, paying his respects. I humbly ask for your guidance in opening the celestial gate. This was another purpose behind his visit to the library. While he could use the magic artifacts given to him by Song Qing to raise some funds for opening the celestial gate, the thought of doing so brought him no joy. Xu Qi'an was a seeker of pleasure rather than mere success. Zhang Shen chuckled, shaking his head. Ah, in your desperation, you're willing to try anything. But we study Confucianism. How could we possibly help you open the celestial gate? The flow of energy in your body. The paths of your meridians, only practitioners like you would understand those details. The differences in their systems were more profound than he had anticipated. Feeling a tinge of disappointment, Xu Qi'an pressed on. But if opening the celestial gate truly requires support from powerful practitioners of the spirit realm, how did those who first opened it manage? You think the path of martial arts was created in a day? Do you think it was mastered at first attempt? Li Mo Bai replied, lifting his teacup and challenging him with a grin. Xu Qi'an shook his head, indicating he didn't know. It took generations, Li Mo Bai explained slowly. Perhaps at the very beginning, spirit refinement was the pinnacle of martial arts. Then someone, through sheer chance, succeeded in opening the celestial gate, which shifted the pinnacle to qi refinement. Over the years, this system of martial arts evolved into what we have today. Chance? Xu Qi'an latched onto that term. While having a powerful practitioner from the spirit realm assist you is the quickest and safest way to open the celestial gate, it's not the only method. Chen Tai interjected, a knowing smile gracing his lips. When a child is born, they are infused with a hidden portion of innate energy. As they grow older, that energy gradually fades, and the celestial gate can close. To awaken it, one must reopen a long-sealed gate. Xu Qi'an nodded, recalling that everything living consumed grains and developed impurities, which in turn blocked the channel of innate energy. His second uncle had previously imparted this knowledge. There are many ways to do this. Besides simply relying on knowledge to open the celestial gate, there are two other methods. The first is through earth absorption technique. The earth absorption method needs to be practiced from a young age. Bathing daily in herbal remedies to cleanse the meridians and enliven the celestial gate. However, since this method is so costly and time-consuming, it has largely fallen out of favor. The second method involves utilizing external forces to help open the celestial gate. This is how many predecessors achieved it in the early days, often employing demon elixirs. A demon elixir is the concentrated essence of a demonic being's power, packed with energy that can forcefully open meridians. Yet, due to the risks involved, this method is also perilous. So that's how it is. Though he hadn't found a method to exploit yet, he had gained valuable insights, not a loss at all. I am grateful for your explanations. Thank you, esteemed teachers. Look at that, humble and polite, makes it easy to talk to him. The three learned men chuckled, stroking their beards, pleased with Xu Qi'an's demeanor. The library, known as the Hall of the Sage, also called the Shrine of the Sage, housed the memory of the founder of Confucianism, the greatest of all sages. Surrounding the hall was an expansive courtyard paved with green stones, sufficient to accommodate all students from the Wenyan library. Every year, during the spring exam season, the headmaster would summon the students here, delivering grand exhortations, urging them to study hard, pass their exams, serve their communities, and dedicate themselves until death. Set against the far wall was a low, weather-worn structure, splashed in red paint and adorned with a layer of well-worn papers. This was the library's announcement board, where works of literature, poetry, and calligraphy by esteemed teachers and exceptional works by students would be posted. Two young scribes approached the announcement wall, one carrying a scroll while the other smeared paste on the surface. Together, they deftly unfurled the large scroll and affixed it to the wall. This motion immediately drew the attention of all students around, who pressed closer to see the large sheet of paper. What's on it? Let's go take a look. It's not prose, is it? Looks like poetry. After the departure of Master Ziyang, the poetry of our teachers has been nothing special. Clusters of students gathered to read the freshly mounted poetry. The calligraphy on the page danced and flowed, vibrant and forceful, with an underlying fierceness to its strokes. This is penned by Master Zhang. An observant student recognized the familiar handwriting. More and more students flocked to the wall, captivated by the lines of verse. At the midnight hour, lanterns aglow, the young scholar reads in quiet flow. Oh dear, how embarrassing. After the exams, I won't be reading late into the night anymore. This poem appears humble, yet it bears profound wisdom that sparks awareness. Humility. The line, "A youth who fails to learn early will regret it when gray-haired," carries straightforward truth, encapsulating so much. As the years pass, I found myself caught up in leisure, distracted by games and walks, neglecting my studies. Reading this poem makes me realize that I'll regret it one day. Who wrote this masterpiece? As more students jostled, they read with lively engagement, feeling a deep connection to the poem, advocating for learning. The initial couplet prompted embarrassment among the students. Though many tried hard in their studies, how many actually stayed up late reading by lamplight? However true. The line resonated deeply, as esteemed scholars often used their own lives as cautionary tales. Among the crowd were those who pushed through with great discipline, burning the midnight oil for their studies. Yet the heart-clenching query came from the concluding lines, "A youth who fails to learn early will regret it when gray-haired." It felt like a prophecy foretelling their own futures. Some students who had been neglecting their studies instinctively reflected on their habits. Many felt their hearts racing, anxious about the future and the regrets they might carry when older. From the depths of their souls, a desire arose not to waste these flourishing years, igniting a fervor for learning. Nearby, at the edge of the courtyard, the three esteemed scholars observed the unfolding spectacle. Chen Tai laughed heartily, stroking his beard. Who says poetry is useless? It indeed touches the heart. Xu Qi'an is undeniably a poetic prodigy. Seeing how the poem had a positive effect on the students, Zhang Shen's face lit with satisfaction. Fair point. In just the time it takes to drink a cup of tea, he produced something of this caliber. Not just now, but throughout history, he could rank among the finest. Li Mo Bai suddenly asked, "Do you believe him when he says he hasn't been diligent in his studies for a long time?" The other two scholars nodded, and Li Mo Bai chuckled. "How do you know?" When writing the poem, he had Xu Qi'an draft for him, Zhang Shen replied. What manner of scholar allows another to write poetry in his stead? Chen Tai added. Unless he lacks skill in calligraphy. As all scholars should be well versed in this fundamental skill. Li Mo Bai mused, what a pity. He has reached an age where he could engage in the scholarly way. It might be too late if he transitions now. Chen Tai sighed heavily, lamenting, with such a gifted talent, to pursue the path of martial arts is a waste of the heavens' gifts. It felt unbecoming for a brute to possess the exquisite talent that Xu Qi'an showcased. Zhang Shen seemed to recall something, speaking with exasperation. I've heard Xu Qi'an mention that when they were younger, their parents predetermined that Xu Qi'an would pursue scholarship while Ning Yan took up martial arts. Xu Pingzi is indeed not human. To squander a budding scholar like that is truly detestable. Li Mo Bai fumed, nodding in agreement with his fellow scholars.
Thanks for listening till the end. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next chapter.